broader term. If you all have remembered, I said you this already in the last class, that human nervous system is not a single pathway. It includes both the path from our body to brain and spinal cord, and from brain and spinal cord to our body. So all the nerve cells or all the neurons, they work in a coordinate manner, and that is only known as nervous coordination. So this nervous coordination is having some subdivisions, as I said. The main two subdivisions of human nervous system are central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Already I said, if you all remember, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system includes brain and spinal cord, and peripheral nervous system includes the sensory neurons and the motor neurons. What are the sensory neurons? Neurons that arises from the sense organ like skin, eye, ear, nose, tongue. Okay, so the neurons that arises from the organs and move to the brain and spinal cord are known as sensory neurons. What are motor neurons? Neurons that arises from brain and spinal cord and move to the organs are known as motor neuron. As I gave you the example, the biting of mosquito is the sensation that is taken by the sensory neuron to brain, and brain will command our hand to beat the mosquito by the help of motor neuron. Okay, so both the sensory neuron and motor neuron of our body includes the peripheral nervous system. So I am not going in details now about central and peripheral nervous system. So central nervous system, as I said, it includes brain and spinal cord. So today let us start the central nervous system, and here today we will discuss about human brain. Okay, then we will go to spinal cord. Okay, so human brain is the most delicate organ of our body, and brain is the controlling center of our body. Brain controls all the activities of our body, both the external activities, means both the voluntary actions and involuntary actions, the actions that are carried by the external organs and the actions that are carried by the internal organs. Okay, so human brain is a very important topic. Here we are discussing some of the terms. When we will move on to the higher class, again we will find some more terms associated with human brain. So I suggest you to listen to this topic very carefully, so that when you will move on to the higher class, like to the 10th class, 11th, 12th class, you will not have more confusion of this topic. Okay, so let us start the topic in details. So human brain, whenever we are talking about human brain, as I said, this is a very delicate organ, and that's why it is needed to be protected. Whenever our body got any injury, sometimes we may face any accident, or we may fall down, so that should not injure to our brain. As I said, brain is a very delicate organ and it controls all the activity of our body. That's why brain is protected by a bone known as skull. You can find in the skeletons, you might have seen the skull. So skull is the outer protective, it is a bone which protects the brain externally. So inside the skull, brain is present. Okay, so skull is the outer protective layer of brain, okay, which protects the brain from any injury. Next, meninges. Just after skull, there are three layers that they combinedly known as meninges. Okay, meninges are the three layers which protects the brain. Okay, so let me do it. Suppose this is the skull. Okay, this is the outer hard bone covering of brain which protects brain. Okay, and then internally it got three layers. Okay, it got three layers or three membranes known as meninges. These three layers combinedly they form the what? meninges. Okay, I'm just doing a very rough diagram to make you all understand. So these are the three layers known as meninges. Okay, meninges are also the protective layer of brain. Inside the meninges, it got some fluid, okay, known as cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. Remember, CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Inside the meninges, it got some fluid known as cerebrospinal fluid. So what is the work of cerebrospinal fluid? It also helps in protecting brain. Whenever we got any shock or whenever we got any mechanical injury, so these cerebrospinal fluid helps to protect our brain. Okay, so got it? Skull and meninges are the two covering of brain which protects the brain externally. Got it? And inside the meninges we got some liquid known as cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, cerebrospinal fluid is present both in brain and spinal cord. When I will move on to spinal cord, there also I will use this term. So here inside the meninges, cerebrospinal fluid is present, which helps our brain or which protects our brain from any shock or mechanical injury. Got it? If we will talk or if we will divide the structure of brain, then broadly we can divide or we can have three structures of brain. What are the three structures or three groups of brain? Here we can see cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Okay, cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata are the three divisions or the three main parts of brain. Okay, brain has three main parts and three of them has different functions. Okay, we will discuss it. So the first one is cerebrum, the second one is cerebellum and the third one is medulla oblongata. Okay, so let us discuss about it one by one. So the first one is cerebrum. Remember, cerebrum is the largest part of human brain. Okay, if you will compare cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata, cerebrum is the largest part of human brain, means half of the brain is cerebrum only. Okay, so here just I am doing the diagram. Cerebrum is the largest part of human brain. So here we can see cerebrum is the largest part of human brain. This total part is known as cerebrum. Okay, you can see the surface of the cerebrum has so many curves or curls. Okay, it is just wrinkled structure. It is not so plain. Okay, you can see there are so many ups and downs on the surface of the cerebrum. Okay, let me level it. Cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum. This whole part is cerebrum. So cerebrum is the largest part of human brain. So cerebrum, the surface of cerebrum has wrinkles or so many ups and downs. These are known as, these curves are known as ridges and furrows. Ridges and furrows, or we can say ridges and grooves. Okay, the downs are known as grooves and the up part is known as ridges. Ridges and furrows or ridges and grooves. Grooves can also be known as furrows. Okay, ridges and grooves are the curves which are present on the surface of cerebrum. Okay, can have number of neurons. If the surface will be plain, then it cannot hold number of neurons. So that's why it got number of ridges and furrows, or ridges and grooves, so that it can have number of neurons. And let me tell you, there are around 9 billion neurons are present inside cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum holds around 9 billion neurons. Okay, so these curves or this wrinkle on the surface of the cerebrum has to hold, or it provides a surface, large surface area for the neurons. Okay, and there are around 9 billion neurons are present in the cerebrum. Only I am talking about cerebrum here. Got it? So cerebrum is not plain. It got number of ups and downs known as ridges and furrows, or ridges and grooves. Okay. So the first term here, cerebral hemisphere. Cerebrum is divided into two parts, the left part and the right part. So here in this diagram, I am showing you just the side view of brain. Just imagine a front view of brain. So here the front view of brain you can imagine. Then cerebrum can have the two sides, left side and right side, the right part and the left part. So the right part and the left part are known as hemispheres, known as cerebral hemispheres. So we can say there are two hemispheres in the cerebrum. What are that? Right hemisphere and left hemisphere. I am showing you the front view of cerebrum. This one I am showing you the side view. Okay. So if you will see in front, if you will see the front view of brain, then we can find there are two divisions of cerebrum, the right part and the left part, or we can say the hemispheres. The two divisions are known as hemispheres. They are known as cerebral hemisphere. So this is the right hemisphere and this is the left hemisphere. Right cerebral hemisphere and left cerebral hemisphere. Okay, and these two hemispheres are connected by means of fibers. Remember, there is a fiber connection in between the right hemisphere and left hemisphere, and these fibers helps in transferring some information from right to left and left to right. Got it? Again I am repeating. The cerebrum, as I said, cerebrum is a very large part of brain. So cerebrum can be divided into two parts, the right part and the left part. Okay, if you will see the front view, we can have two parts of cerebrum, right part and the left part. We also call it as hemispheres, the right cerebral hemisphere and the left cerebral hemisphere. Both the hemispheres are connected by means of fibers. Okay, this is known as Purkinje fiber. Here I am not mentioning, you will have in your hierarchies. So there is a connection, or there is a fiber connection in between the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, known as what? We can call it as fiber connection. And what is the work of this connection? It helps in transferring the information from right to left and left to right. Okay, so this is all about cerebral hemisphere. Now we can divide brain into its outer region and inner region. As you all have remembered, whenever we had discussed kidney has two regions, the outer region and the inner region. The outer region is known as cortex and the inner region is known as medulla. The same brain has two regions, the outer region and the inner region. The outer region is known as cortex and the inner region is known as medulla. Okay, so here we can divide brain into outer cortex. Okay, so here I can write this is the outer part, cortex, and this is the medulla. Okay, cortex and medulla. Okay, brain has two divisions. cortex, you can see this is the outer surface. This is the outer surface. We call it as what? Cortex. And this is the inner surface. We call it as what? Medulla. Okay? Outer cortex and inner medulla. Okay? So, in the outer cortex, as I said, cerebrum contains number of neurons, around 9 billion neurons it contains. So, the cell body is present in the cortex region. Okay, here I am drawing, just listen to it very carefully. So, here whenever we are talking about neuron, the cell body is present in the cortex part. Okay, already we have discussed the structure of neuron. The cell body is present on the cortex part and the axon is present in the medulla part. Got it? So these are the axon terminal, if you all have remembered. Okay, got it? Here I have done a single structure of the neuron that is present inside the cerebrum. So on the cortex or inside the cortex, it got the cell body, and inside the medulla it got the axon part. So the cortex part looks slightly grey in color and the medulla part looks white in color. Again I am repeating, the neurons present in the cerebrum here we are talking about, the cell body or the upper part of the neuron is present on the cortex and the lower part or the axon part is present in the medulla. So cortex looks greyish in color and medulla looks whitish in color. So we can name it as grey matter and white matter. Okay, this is very important. Here I have written grey matter and white matter. So cortex contains grey matter, medulla contains white matter. Grey matter is nothing but the cell body of the neuron and white matter is nothing but the axon part of the neuron. Okay, so that's why as due to the presence of cell body it looks grey in color, that's why it is known as grey matter, and due to the presence of axon it looks white in color, that's why it is known as white matter. Got it? So up to this I am repeating, just again listen to it carefully. Cerebrum is the largest part of human brain. It got number of ridges and furrows over its surface which helps to hold the neurons. Okay, around 9 billion neurons are present inside the cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum has two parts, the outer cortex and the inner medulla. Cortex contains the cell bodies, that's why it looks grey in color and known as grey matter. Medulla contains the axon part of the neuron, that's why it looks white in color and known as white matter. Okay, so this is all about cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum can also be divided into two half, the right half and the left half. We call it as hemispheres, the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Got it? So this is all about cerebrum. Again you repeat it, again you read out your book, then you can have again a clear idea about cerebrum. Got it? So this is all about the structure of cerebrum. What is the function of cerebrum? Cerebrum helps, or cerebrum is the site of intelligence, memory, reasoning, thinking capacity, willpower, okay, emotions. These all are the functions that are controlled by cerebrum. Okay, so cerebrum is the controlling center of intelligence, memory, thinking ability, reasoning or problem solving capacity, and emotions. Okay, that's why these capacities varies from person to person. Okay, all the persons do not have a same capacity of intelligence, memory, thinking capacity, problem solving ability. That varies from person to person. Okay, so this is all the these are all the functions of cerebrum. Got it? Next come to cerebellum. Cerebellum is the second part. This is the first part. Cerebellum is the second part of human brain. Just below the cerebrum, cerebellum is present, and cerebellum is very small in structure. You can write the difference between cerebellum and cerebellum. Cerebellum is the large part of brain. Cerebellum is the smallest part of brain. Okay. So here down to the cerebellum, cerebellum is present. Okay. Just below the cerebrum, cerebellum is present. Okay. So here just I am doing the rough diagram. This is the cerebellum. Okay. I am just erasing this one. So here I can write. This is the cerebellum. Okay. So cerebellum can be of two types or two parts, right part and left part. As I am showing you this, the side view. So if I will show you the front view, cerebellum can also have the left part and the right part. Okay. So they are also known as cerebral hemisphere. The left cerebral hemisphere of cerebellum, right cerebral hemisphere of the cerebellum. And both the left part and right part are connected by means of a structure known as pons. Okay, pons directly here only you can write pons. Okay, so here this is somehow the structure of pons. Okay, so this is the structure of pons, which connects the left and right hemisphere of cerebellum. Cerebrum also got two hemisphere, left and right hemisphere. Cerebellum also got two hemisphere, left hemisphere and right hemisphere. And the connection between the left and right hemisphere is known as pons. Why there are connection between hemisphere? To transfer the information. Okay, to transfer the impulse or to transfer the stimulus. Okay, this is the work of the connection. So here I can write this is the pons. Okay, so the main work of cerebellum, this is only the structure. The main function of cerebellum is to control the posture of our body, to control the gesture or posture of our body, means how you are standing. Okay, it helps us to stand erect. Okay, so we can also say that cerebellum decides the function and cerebellum implements the function. Again I am repeating, cerebellum decides the function and cerebellum implements the function. Suppose I am giving you one example. In class, whenever you are sitting on a bench, suppose teacher when they will ask any question, then you want to answer the question, you can raise your hand, and when teacher asks you to answer the question, you want to stand up. So your cerebrum commands you to stand up, and the activity of standing erect is controlled by cerebellum. Got it? So cerebrum commands and cerebellum implements. So all the muscles activity that on sitting and standing from the bench, all the muscular activity is controlled by cerebellum. Okay, so cerebellum controls all the voluntary activities of our body. Okay, all the muscular or voluntary activities of our body are controlled by cerebellum, or in short we can write that it controls the posture of our body. Whenever you can notice the alcoholic person, whenever someone will take alcohol, then alcohol will affect the cerebellum for some period. That's why they cannot maintain their posture. Okay, somewhere you might have seen, or in TV also you might have seen, they cannot able to maintain their posture due to the effect of alcohol on cerebellum. Okay, so this is the structure and working of cerebellum. The last one is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata medulla oblongata. Okay, medulla oblongata is the last or ending portion of brain, and down it gives rise to spinal cord. Spinal cord. Okay, medulla oblongata gives rise to spinal cord. It is the ending part of brain, or we can also call it as brain stem. Remember, medulla oblongata can also be called as brain stem, and it ends and gives rise to spinal cord. Okay, so medulla oblongata is also a very small structure. It generally helps in maintaining all the involuntary actions of our body. Means all the functions of our internal organs are controlled by medulla oblongata. For example, movement of food along the food pipe, heart rate, okay, functioning of kidney, functioning of stomach, all these activities are controlled by medulla oblongata. So injury in the medulla oblongata may cause death to a person. Means if there is an injury in the medulla oblongata, then it might hamper any of the internal organs. Sometimes it may hamper the heart rate and person may die. That's why falling towards the front side is not dangerous, but falling back side is dangerous for a person. Okay, so remember, cerebellum helps in controlling all the voluntary activities, and medulla oblongata helps in controlling all the involuntary activities. Cerebrum helps in controlling intelligence, memory, willpower, thinking power. Okay, so these all are the functions of the three parts. Got it? So cerebrum is the largest part, and the smallest part is the cerebellum. And medulla oblongata can also be called as what? Brain stem. Got it? So these are some of the structures that are included in human brain. Again, there are some more structures, but this is the detailed structure of human brain. Some more parts you will read in your higher class. So again and again I am repeating. Again go through your book. Again find out these terms. As I said, after listening the topic or after watching the video, if we will leave the topic, you will think that after some 4-5 days I will revise it, then it will go from your mind. Just after watching the video, you revise the topics. Then only you can have a clear idea, and also you may got some more doubts and you can ask and clarify your doubts. Got it? So these are the structures that are involved in human brain. In the next class we will move on to spinal cord. As here we are talking about central nervous system. Central nervous system includes brain and spinal cord. Here we have completed brain. In the next class we will move on to spinal cord. Okay? So till then, just keep revising the topic. Practice the diagram.